talented folks, welcome back. This weekend is getting kicked off with quite a bang because this is honestly going to be probably one of the most important matches of the tournament. Hello, my screen name is Covert Muffin. I'm going to be joined by Jay Halcyon on the comms, but this is going to be the fourth round of Swiss featuring off Free Leaf Emoji versus Infinite Turtles. Hello. Jay Hal, this is pretty big, right?
Muffin, this is huge. This match will decide whether or not Infinite Turtles will progress in the bracket, or whether or not we will have a massive 2v2v2v2 race to decide which three teams get in.
Yeah, so for folks who are unaware, the way that Swiss ends up working is that teams with the same score point value end up facing each other. So in order to be able to qualify for brackets, you need a winning score of 3-1 because there's only 4 coveted slots to be able to make it to that semi-final position of the brackets itself. And so Infinite Turtles here is facing off a team of a score point of 1 and 2. So Free Leaf Emoji cannot actually qualify for brackets, even if they take a win here today. However, Infinite Turtles coming into the fourth round has a score point value of 2 and 1. So if they actually do end up winning this, they will advance to a score point value of 3 and 1. 3 wins, 1 loss. And then there's going to be an epic 4-way race, as Hal just mentioned.
Yeah, and that 4-way race, as someone who is lined up to be in it, is honestly, I'm kind of hoping for it. Let's be honest.
Yes.
That sounds like a ton of fun to be in. That sounds like a ton of fun to watch, a ton of fun to commentate for those that are not involved directly. Just a big, epic, rowdy time of Randomizer. But Free Leaf Emoji is going to be doing their best regardless. I'm sure Jamal has secreted Bash away somewhere obnoxious, hoping that Infinite Turtles will not find it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this race because we have quite a lot of incredible runners. I mean, like, Jamal themselves, right, on Free Leaf Emoji, like, revolutionized how to kill the mini-boss leading into the final escape itself, like, further reducing that time gap from just going for in order to get access to the final escape versus fighting the mini-boss in the last rando tourney. But here we go. We are on the race screen. Let's go. Free Leaf Emoji is going to be on the left with Jamal in the top left, Wespr in the bottom left, with Infinite Turtles on the right, with Infinite themselves in the top right, with TurtleRun in the bottom right, with their respective trackers and their timers overlapping on their game screens. GLHF, let's see how this seed goes. But there we go. No Relic in Blackroot, Misty, or Sorrow. Ooh, left side.
That can get spicy. We need all 3 dungeon keys for relics. And that left side, really, they only have to go to Valley to complete the game. But Sorrow is super dense. So we'll see whether or not they can find something that's... Oh my goodness, clean water right off the bat.
Yeah, and Infinite spamming that Alt-T bind in order to wish everybody good luck on their random. But yeah, clean water, in all honesty, Hal, is like one of my favorite things to find in a doubles match because it really does open up sort of like a split off point in a lot of different locations that are like very rare to see, but they can come with like very odd skill sets. As we see, Jamal is going to be collecting the Rhino experience as a first Sunstone shard. So who knows? Maybe this is as jet as the seed that you played last night?
Time will only tell, and if it is, it won't be a lot of time. So far, no keystones, no wall interaction. All of our runners are going to be warping back to that Glades teleporter, going up to pick those additional 4 pickups now because of that clean water. So, Covert, what do you think? What are you hoping for our first progression here? We've already got clean water. What else are we going to see?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that no keystones have shown up so far, and that's like very, very unlikely. I mean, clean water just opens up 2 more pickups into logic, so it kind of expands the pool for in logic pickups from the start of the seed by 1.5 times as many, right? So like we still could see the 2 keystone star in order to get access to Glades proper, bringing in 4 additional pickups into logic itself. So we're going to see on this pickup, it is just a health cell. So the more pickups we find that aren't keystones, the higher the probability that we're going to find some sort of skill or teleporter. And so it is a keystone. Okay, so it's most likely just going to open the Glade store and they're going to have to continue to progress through. Yeah, there it is. The second one on Fake Flippers is going to be a keystone. I'm looking in the top right here at Infinite Screen and an ability cell. So finding an ability cell does increase the probability that Dash could come early in Logic. So this could still be a very fast seed, but I'm honestly, Hal, to address your question, I'm hoping for the most terrible seed. That's going to be very long, very grueling, and very slow for our runners because those are the most fun to cast.
So you're thinking like Climb and Charge Flame for 40 minutes?
Yeah, like one of those, or like a Bash and Stomp and Wall Jump seed, where just everything else is buried. Those seeds are so mean, especially because we don't want to go to the left side, right? No Relic and Misty, no Relic and Sorrow, especially. And like the Relic for Valley could just be at Valley entrance, right? Which is usually pretty early.
Yeah, and there it is. Wall Jump is our first skill that we found, so still pretty low power. Just the ability to climb up walls. We'll see if any of our runners decide to take that and go immediately into Blackroot, make it maybe split up, even though there is no Blackroot Relic. We could definitely have progression there.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see one runner from the team. Yeah, Alt-R. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Turtle's going to Alt-R immediately. I like this a lot from Infinite Turtles. Just get somebody into Blackroot immediately. It is one of the most linear and one of the slowest areas to like first like get the clear to like restore the light and get to the tree itself. But like having one runner from the team getting in there immediately allows them to be able to say, okay, skip the ore pickup, skip the pickup at the top, like if it is nothing, or to go collect those. But we do see a Sunstone Shard from Infinite in the top right as they are going through the glades. So that is going to be nice information for later on. So maybe we're going to see an early forward teleport as well. But yeah, I love this play from Infinite Turtles.
Yeah, definitely good to split up wherever you can in co-op. We'll see what Free Leaf Emoji decides to do as they go through here. But eyes on the lower right of the screen is going to be our Pathfinder into Blackroot Burrows to see what TurtleRun is getting for that risk, leaving the Relic area behind.
It is a keystone, and that could be massive because with just Wall Jump, right, like Charge Flame Tree could have the progression. And like major shout outs to you, Maddie, who like during the patch for like 3.0, they ended up doing a like over 10,000 iterations of like seed generation to just like get some data as to like what locations could be juicy. And Charge Flame Tree ends up having a ridiculously high probability of like having an important thing in order to be able to progress in the seed. And with just Wall Jump, yeah, every single keystone right now is looking really, really golden. But also finding this many keystones, Hal, like does increase the probability that like either we have to go to Charge Flame Tree or something like Grow the Teleporter or another teleporter could be like showing up pretty early because yeah, the right side is stacked with like keystone doors that require very, very few skills in order to be able to get access to them.
Yeah, and with Forlorn Teleporter in Blackroot, wow. With his partner finding those keystones in Blackroot, I would love to see Infinite do a key dupe here to make sure he can get through Spirit Caverns without having to go back for those keys. Did you see if he set the save up?
I did not. So we're going to see if that is going to be a play that Infinite is going to look towards. But maybe they don't have to key dupe. They're already up to 3 keystones. So they have 2 more pickups before the key door. Ginzo Teleporter, big find, but also still on that linear path. So that's not going to be a split for the teams. But is this a keystone? No, it's the Relic, Hal. So yeah, so is Infinite going to go for the key dupe? Are they going to go into Blackroot to follow their teammate?
He's acting like he's got the key dupe set up here.
Yep. So they must have definitely placed a save. So this is incredibly precise in the top right corner of your screen. Infinite, that looked good to me. And
yeah, I see 7 keystones. He's got it.
Yeah, nicely done from Infinite. So they are going to have to go through. There are so many good pickups in Spirit Cavern. So they are going to have to go back through, collect all of those once again in order to be able to get them. I think there was only like 1 or 2 EXP pickups, but everything else was like a gem, right? Keystone and like Teleporter and the Relic. But there in the top left, Jamal is going to Alt-R, and so they are going to go to Blackroot. So Infinite in the top right is going to be the first one to make it to Charge Flame Tree, and it's looking like that's where it's going to be because Turtle has done all of Blackroot except for 1 single pickup, which is going to be right before Boulder Escape in Logic. So it's looking like Charge Flame Tree is the place to be.
Yeah, and having done that duplication, coming out of this with 2 extra keystones, really comfy, especially, the beginning of the seed, for as few skills as they have, is very comfortable to play on. 4 health, clean water, a couple of sunstone shards. Infinite's got plenty of keystones. Turtle's got plenty of keystones from going through Blackroot as well. So
yeah, it's gonna be. I'm like my eyes are just peeled in like the top right, bottom right. As like Jamal and Wespr on the left side of the screen are going to just be working through Blackroot burrows as we've seen Turtle done. But it's like, what are we going to find? But Infinite opting to go for the tree first. Are they going to set up a save anywhere? Yeah, there are. So what they're doing here is they're going to save the game, quit to menu. But no, there it is! In the bottom right, Turtle finds grenade right before the boulder escape. And so it's looking like the clean water and grenade combo for that Blades find or the plant by Charge Flame tree are going to be the progression. But no, they have wall jump and grenades, so that opens up the right side of the map now. This is big for Turtle. But yeah, Infinite's just beelining directly for Blackroot. So honestly, actually working out pretty well for Free Leaf Emoji if they commit to this Blackroot play.
yeah, not having spent that time and finding Glide, it looks like on the dash tree, for a little bit more comfort even, but not having spent that time, not having spent the keystones to go up through Spirit Caverns is gonna be big for the state of the race. Though as I say that, Jamal is making the play back for Spirit Caverns.
Yeah, so honestly, this is working out as I had hoped. It's just a little bit more linear. So very linear early game. It is looking like going through Spider Sack area is going to be required for all of our runners. So everybody's going to have to go through Spirit Caverns for that relic at the very least. But then also, I mean, there still is Valley entrance, right? Are we going to see a play for Valley entry with that Glide and grenades? Are we going to see a play directly for the right side and maybe skip that Valley entrance? I don't know. I'm just very excited to see what our runners go next. But yeah, heads up play from Turtle in the bottom right, recognizing that they do have clean water and grenade. So they are going to be checking this, as Wespr in the bottom left is going to also track down that grenade. So skill and progression parity for our team so far. I really can't pick a team that's going to be ahead or behind.
Yeah, Turtle's kind of our leader now in terms of what skills and what ground they've covered. Jamal is, of course, up at the Grove Teleporter, watching that cutscene so that they can keep the teleporter, but doesn't have that grenade find. He left before Wespr could tell him that it was there. So this is, Turtle's kind of blazing the trail for us now as Infinite is catching up and finding that grenade.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, right? So, like, mid-game, right? The entire purpose of the mid-game especially is going to be twofold. One is you want to make progress on all of the relics, right? We know the right side of the map is heavy loaded with relics in order to track those down. But the other thing also with, like, routing to randomizer, especially in a race setting, is, like, tracking down that first power skill, right? So we have bash, charge jump, or dash that could be showing its face. And honestly, with grenade this early, if they end up finding bash, this could be a very long seed how. Because then the question is, what gets us access to the left side of the map? We do know that Sorrow and Missy don't end up having relics, so there's like a lot of different sort of sequences that could unfold. But if it is something like charge jump being the first power skill that they end up tracking on the right side of the map, it could end up being a climb, charge jump, Sorrow teleporter for left side access. And if that happens, that's what our runners are really hoping not to have found in the mid game, because once again they want to only be exploring areas that end up having relics.
Yeah, and I mean, if we do find bash, as you say, that it opens up so much of the map, but even more than that, if you go out of logic and use the bash to go left, that's potentially every pickup in the game that becomes available, and some runners might not remember that, might not have in their brain, at the time. They're just saying, oh, I can go left, but maybe there's still another skill to find on the right.
Indeed. And also interesting note is that we found 281 experience behind the boulder. So that does mean that Stomp is actually going to be pretty potentially late in logic, right? It could be on the left side of the map with an experience value that high, because the range of experience does end up deciding how potentially early or late in logic a pickup could potentially be if it's gated by specific skill. So that being said, right, if Stomp is that high of an experience value, then who knows? Maybe that does mean that is going to be climb and charge jump. It certainly increases the probability for that case. But that being said, just as a quick update for the state of the race of our runners, J-Mal in the top left is going to be continuing to work through Whacker Burrows, making their way to that grenade pickup. Wespr in the bottom left is going to be entering Spirit Caverns with that grenade and wall jump and glide. So we're going to see if they make a play for Valley. But Turtle in the bottom right is going to just sort of be catching up, grabbing all those juicy resources that their teammate ended up tracking down, while Infinite in the top right is in Boulder Escape, going to be grabbing 125 experience, as well as just sort of progressing through grabbing that waypoint. So it really, bottom left is where I'm looking right now to find the new pickups that are going to be showing up that no runner has found yet in this race.
Yeah, we're going to see if Wespr decides to be the first person to get into Valley entry. Yep, there he goes. The first person to go right through Spider Sack, potentially. There's all sorts of new areas that are open to our runners now with the skills that they have, but it's all going to be fairly slow.
All right, so Wespr is making a play for that Valley entry. Nicely done. Gonna find a keystone, so nothing quite yet. Once again, right side is in logic with the skill set, so it could be anything.
Wind restored. That's, again, that incremental. Here's one or two more pickups, right?
Yeah.
But that does get them most of that right side of the map at this point.
Oh, look at this in the top right, how Infinite is going for this platform glitch. This is, I recently found out, allowed in the tournament. And yeah, there it is. Infinite going to be climbing up to the top there and checking this one pickup. Is it something big? No, it's just a keystone. Okay. So many keystones, Hal. Right? This is just like telling me that, like, in my heart, that bash or charge jump is going to be showing up pretty early as the next step in logic. With this many keystones, right, that opens up Stomp Tree area. That's going to be opening up like double jump areas already in logic. There's just so many key doors at our disposal, but also with 2 Sunstone shards. I'm going to be interesting to see, right? We do have Forlorn Teleporter. We do have Ginso Teleporter. Are we going to find Horu Teleporter? And if we do find it that early in logic, are we going to see a play immediately for that Horu area in general? But Turtle also going to be tracking down Winter Sword. But you know what, Hal? Both runners, both teams, are orphaning 2 potential pickups that could come into logic. One in Valley entry is in logic with that terrible wall jump climb, but then also Valley long swim. I mean, there's a relic in Valley. We have grenade, we have clean water. We don't have stomp, so it's a little bit tricky, and we don't have that verticality from bash or charge jump, so it's really annoying for like Valley long swim. But still, what if there's something there? Who knows?
Yeah, indeed. And we even saw Turtle, I saw him circle his mouse over the top of that tree in Valley entry, so he's thinking about it. He's thinking about, going up and doing Valley long swim, doing that awful climb with just wall jump and glide to get access to that one pickup, but apparently decided against it. So Wespr is on the left in the bottom, is our first runner to make it out of the Glades and Charge Flame area, and has made his way into Grove, in the Spider Sack, checking some pickups, just finding a keystone so far. He can't open a progression vault, and he won't be able to climb up to where the grenade pickup is. We'll see if he decides to open the door anyway at this point. Looks like he's going to.
We're getting so many new checks, folks. So 60 experience at the Frankie Walk pickup that we saw in the top left. Infinite, meanwhile, does do the climb. So this is big. If this is going to be something important. No, it's just experience. Wow, Free Leaf Emoji getting bailed out here from skipping this pickup. But yeah, Infinite is going to make the play for Valley Long Swim. What is this? How? This is like caster gold right here. We see a Valley Long Swim 15 minutes into a scene. I could not be happier here. But yeah, bottom left, Wespr is going to be making that way to the right side of the map, and they are going to be trailblazing. But TurtleRun also is going to be in Spider Sack area in the bottom right. But here, Infinite is going to have to do a really difficult trick here. They have to jump. Oh, no. They didn't jump early enough. You have to jump like immediately after you let go of the lever in order to use that downward velocity to get deeper into the water. This is an incredibly precise swim. So in the top right, is Infinite going to die? No, they get through. So very big from Infinite, but is it going to be Valley Long Swim?
Oh my goodness, the Valley Teleporter. All right, does he take it? Because that does add a couple of pickups. No, just one. Just the one. It adds that little swim.
Yep. They are Altaring. How? Are they gonna find something? No, they go to Glades. Oh, I wish they went to Valley so we could know. But that is going to be on their mind. Yeah, they're alting.
Wait, he's running back. He's saving, reloading. So, okay, this is interesting. making a backup save and going to Valley. I like this a lot. So he's made that backup save so that despite the fact that he's letting the cutscene play where Kuro greets the player, he'll be able to glitch Kuro out later if this is not in fact the progression that he's looking for.
Yeah, really heads up play. So after they watch this cutscene, they are not going to be able to watch this cutscene again, as Hal was mentioning. And that is absolutely massive because there's a number of sequence breaks in order to be able to get access to Valley proper that revolve around having that cutscene not triggered yet. So, I mean, I know, like, the Grove checks in the upper swamp loop are going to be more important because they have a higher probability, but still, this is just, oh my goodness. I really hope there's something in Valley. If there's something big in Valley, this could literally decide the race, folks. So Infinite in the top right is going to be using that Windrest Sword in order to climb up.
Oh my goodness! It's Bash! And that's not even in logic. That's a very huge pickup, and Infinite's just stopped. Infinite is stopped, and TurtleRun is immediately teleporting. So we're gonna see this team immediately have Bash, have Glide, have Wind Restored, have Grenade. Really, the only thing that could stop them at this point from having just a huge insurmountable advantage is if we wind up stomp locked, or if Team Free Leaf Emoji decides to go left, finds that Valley teleporter, goes for it, and finds that out of logic stomp cell.
I can't believe Bash was there. You cannot make this up, folks. This seed, this is the greatest seed that I've ever seen in a tournament setting. But big find there for Wespr in the bottom left. It is going to be double jump. That is going to allot them a bit of verticality. But this means a lot, Hal, right? So like Bash and Stomp is not logical progression. So that means finding Bash there is big for many, many different reasons. First of all, either getting the Valley teleporter from Valley Long Swim is going to be logical progression, or it's going to be climb and charge jump with Sorrow teleporter in order to work all the way down from Sorrow in order to be able to get that access to Bash. There's just so many different mean pathways, but so Stomp on the right side of the map, pretty low probability at this point that we're going to find Stomp on the right side of the map. But then also, like, where's charge jump at this point? Where's the power skill on the right side of the map? Or maybe it is just Stomp and then it expects you to do Valley Long Swim. Like, wow, this seed is just absolutely mind-boggling. But that being said, Infinite finding Bash, this could decide the entire race, as they are now working their way into Moon Grotto, aka also known as Gumo Hideout, with the lower portion of Moon Grotto. And they are going to be checking a lot of density, both Grenade and Bash, and a lot of energy. This is looking so good for Infinite.
Yeah, and Free Leaf Emoji, they don't know it, but they are on a serious timer now. When will they find that Bash pickup? Yeah. When will they, with all of the pickup places they can go and the pickups they can get to, when will they think to go to Valley Long Swim and find that Valley teleporter? You know, that could be what decides the race right there.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of joke about these sort of routes. Like the way people route is kind of like normalized at this point because the randomizer has been out for a really long time and people have been optimizing, playing the randomizer especially a lot over the years. But basically finding Valley teleporter and Valley long swim on that terrible climb up to that tree and then opening it and actually checking that is a very, very long play. And it's like, it takes a very long time in order for like very low density. And so in the community, we call these power plays, right? But it's just like that name, power play, makes all the sense now, finding Bash off of that. But as we see Turtle making the same play, just beelining for Bash, I don't blame them at all. Like, yeah, get Bash. Just get it. It's the most powerful skill in the entire game. Like, yeah, just get it.
Yeah, and now what I would love to see out of Turtle at this point, with his partner in the Grotto Vault, finding 2 more Gumon Seal Shards. Oh my! And Wespr has that Sorrow teleporter, so I think that climb, charge, jump, Sorrow teleporter path is getting more and more likely.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for that, as we also do see the Grotto Relic is going to be directly below the teleporter there on the plant itself. JML finding that in the top left. But meanwhile, Infinite, with that Forlorn teleporter and the 2 Gumon Seal Shards, that allows them to utilize that teleporter to get access to Forlorn. And they are just here purely for the Relic, right? But honestly, folks, the seed's not over, right? So, like, even though Free Leaf Emoji is probably going to take a while to track down that bash as they end up tracking down Climb, which is going to be next to Water Vein location. We still don't have the capability of doing the final escape, right? We need something else to be able to break the floors, to break the walls in order to be able to progress through. So there is still a lot of randomizer to be played, even though Bash definitely probably will decide the race at this point, because with Climb and Sorrow Teleporter showing up, with Climb and Charge Jump, yeah, it depends where Valley Relic is. So we may just see no Bash find for Free Leaf Emoji.
Yeah, and we did see Infinite making the play to the bit of Valley right outside of Forlorn. Really heads up play, keeping in mind that they do have a Valley Relic, that these are available. Getting a Swamp Teleporter for his trouble. I don't remember. I didn't see if he had picked that up already, but nice to find. And then going back into Forlorn because he has not yet found that relic.
Yep, so quick update for the state of the race. We see TurtleRun now going through the upper swamp loop, so they are going to be tracking down their double jump find, which is going to be nice for Team Infinite Turtles. But then meanwhile, Infinite continuing to work through Forlorn in order to try and track down that relic, as JML in the top left is going to be working through the left side of Grotto, potentially going for Pillar Puzzle, but definitely checking these plants. They're going to track down that Gumon Seal shard that Infinite found earlier on, and Wespr in the bottom left is going to be working through the lower right portions of Gumo Hideout itself. So I imagine that Wespr actually honestly might find Charge Jump here. I think there's very few locations that are left in Logic as to where that could be, and then that is going to spur them into Sorrow Pass as an area to be able to get access to. They find a health cell, and we're going to see what's on the tree in the bottom left. I am like literally eyes peeled just looking at this. And it's a health cell. Okay, so it is going to be somewhere mean. So that means that it could potentially be on somewhere like Glazer or some other location that is going to be really mean in Logic that people usually don't tend to want to check. But hey, you know what? Like maybe it is actually progression to use that Valley Teleporter from Valley Long Swim in order to be able to track down Bash with this skill set. It's just wow. But yeah, Infinite meanwhile finds Forlorn Relic.
Yeah, and thanks for this note from the truck. If you combine the skill sets of both teams, all of Sorrow Pass is in Logic. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of putting that Sorrow Teleporter together with this Bash. But we'll see if our left-hand team Free Leaf Emoji can figure that puzzle out. Looks like J-Mall's going for a grenade redirect here in the Grotto Vault.
Yeah, so in the top left, this is incredibly precise. Basically, you can only have 3 grenades alive on the field. And wow, nicely done from J-Mal. That is incredibly impressive. They found 2 more Gumon Seal shards. Oh my goodness. What if there's something just on Forlorn Escape and expects you to like use Forlorn Teleporter? What, I think Charge Jump? Is Charge Jump on Forlorn Escape, Hal? Is this the soul read that I'm gonna see from potentially from J-Mal? I would love to see that. I just need to know. I really hope they do it.
It would be so crazy. I mean, we've seen Infinite go into Forlorn, ended up not finding that relic, or did find the relic and bounced out. Who knows at this point where we're gonna find what we're gonna find? The question is, does J-Mal bounce out of Forlorn after finding the relic, or does he stick around and try to find some more progression skills?
Yeah, we're going to see what our respective teams end up doing. We do see Wespr in the bottom left going back here into Grove to be able to check some stuff. And they are going to be continuing on. So maybe they're going to find something here on Progression Vault in Gumo Hideout, right? This has honestly been a pretty energy-starved seed so far. So this could be a big find for Wespr. So I'm looking in the bottom left. It's just experience, but there still is the Death Gauntlet Vault, right? That I don't think any team has actually checked yet. There's still a lot of ground to cover.
And I think this might be our first mini-boss check here by Infinite, seeing what the Grotto mini-boss has in store. Using Bash, he can 2-cycle this pretty easily, just has to shoot it a couple times with the Spirit Flame, while his partner continues searching Upper Grotto for that relic as well, and he's about to find it. Infinite feeling a little toasty, though. Warmth returned. Good find, and there's Turtle finding that relic. We'll see what Infinite does with that information. Looks like he is teleporting out immediately.
Yeah, if I were to pick a team in the lead at this point, it would definitely have to be Infinite Turtles. They've just covered so much more ground, and like especially having that bash find for the mid to late game portions of the seed is absolutely massive. But still, Hal, shards, right? The name of the game is getting access to the dungeons. As you mentioned at the beginning of the seed, we need to finish all of the dungeon keys, right? So where are the shards going to be? We still have not found a single water vein shard in this entire seed, and we need to go to Ginso, right, to be able to track down that relic. So where is that going to show its face, right? We still have many other areas where that could be really juicy. I mean, especially the left side of the map. I mean, I'm just thinking about Sorrow, right? We mentioned that using Valley Teleporter with that Glide Wind Restored to get access to Sorrow Pass is still on our minds, right? And that could actually be really massive for the state of the race if there are shards in Sorrow Pass. But Sorrow does not have a relic, nor does Misty, right? So we don't end up wanting to have to dig there. But just Sorrow has so many pickups, and it's so pickup dense, Hal.
Yeah, and with the skill set that they have here, our runners, with Glide especially making Sorrow very, very comfy, you know, you gotta wonder when is Team Infinite Turtles going to go back to the left side? They got that bash pickup and then they left and went back to the right. When is Team Freeleaf Emoji going to make that play? You know, they're still waiting on something to get out of the Sorrow Teleporter. When are they going to decide that it's time to go check the best meme of Valley Long Swim? You know, it really could still be anybody's game, as our runners are still trying to figure out where what they need to finish the game is.
Yeah, indeed. So it's going to be really interesting, right? So like thinking about the seed specifically, right? With Bash, especially in Glide and Wind Restored, there is like so much opportunity, but we've been very thorough, right? It's like Swamp proper is a place that we can like go and dig into. There's many different areas as well, right? I'm still just thinking about that Sorrow play. I really hope we do see a Sorrow play from somebody, but J-Maul is going to go to Forlorn Escape, Hal! Is it going to be here on the Escape? I really hope it is. In the top left, folks, my eyes are just absolutely peeled. I know we have about like double-digit seconds until we find out what is here on Forlorn Escape, but this could be massive. But Wespr, Hal, they are going to be going for those pickups, right? For that potential Valley Long Swim. If they are able to track down Bash there, this could be skill parity, but is it too late? Is it too late for Freeleaf Emoji to be able to claw back in this situation in order to be able to bring that skill parity and like be able to make the same checks as Infinite Turtles? I don't know.
Wespr, no, Wespr, no, Wespr! Oh, he was right there. And J-Maul finds Charge Flame on the Forlorn Escape. We'll see if he decides to Altar out with that find, or if he decides that he wants to get Stomp. That clue for Stomp location. And yeah, it looks like we are going to get on our upper left a Forlorn Escape play by J-Maul. We have 3 runners in Forlorn at the same time right now. When does this ever happen?
I know, right? I mean, this is definitely warming my heart being in this frozen, having everybody be in this frozen area. Infinite's going to check the one pickup that they ended up having to skip, which is just a mapstone. But honestly, we haven't really found that many mapstones this seed. I just see 1, if not 2 mapstone turn-ins on all these trackers so far. So having a mapstone actually could be pretty big for the state of the race. And yeah, 200 experience on Mapstone 3, Hal. Like, oh my goodness, that is so funny to see. But Infinite also going to be making the play for Forlorn Escape as we see Stomp is in
Sorrow Pass! Oh.
Sorrow Pass!
Oh, what a seed. All right, eyes on the lower left. Wespr finds an energy cell on Glazer. Where does he go now? Where do you think? What's going through your mind if you're in Wesper's shoes right now? You know, you've gone to just about everywhere you can think of and found nothing.
I'm never going to underestimate an early Valley Long Swim play ever again. Like, like it really is looking at this point that was probably going to be logical progression for being able to get access. But also, like, where's charge jump, right? It could be charge jump still if there is a location. I can't remember if we've seen a Death Gauntlet vault play yet with the energy door being there, because we've been starved on energy for the majority of the seed. But oh my goodness, there's
Wespr finds the first water vein shard on Grenadzer. All right.
This seed.
So that has to be at least a small advantage for Free Leaf Emoji, right? Because when do you check Grenadzer? But
yeah, right. Oh
but
my goodness!
on the top left, Jamal going for this Death Gauntlet vault. We'll see what he finds here behind this 4 energy door. Is it just an energy cell?
Where's charge jump? I don't know where charge jump. Yeah, Jamal just opening the map. This is like Jamal is channeling my energy right now, being like, what the heck is going on?
Especially with the pickups they have, because those are leading them to believe that charge jump is their left side access, right?
Yeah.
Especially,
totally.
you know, Stomp is in Sorrow, so you have to find charge jump to get through that darn wall next to the teleporter. But on the right-hand side of the screen, Infinite going for this fast Stompless play, getting into the rest of the left side of the map. We'll see if TurtleRun decides to do the same. Nope, Turtle is heading down to the this short swim here. He wants whatever Infinite found earlier. Oh, it was another Gumon Seal shard.
Yeah, okay, so honestly, folks, I'm laughing a lot, but this is massive for the state of the race. Infinite coming over to the left side of the map, right? So clearing out most of the right side relics is going to be very, very big. Nice advantage for Infinite Turtles themselves. I really like this a lot, just making the play for Valley. And wow, it's there. It's on Glide Tree. Is going to be the relic. 6 out of 8 relics for Infinite. They only need 2 more relics to be able to finish out. But where are the Water Vein shards? We saw one at Grenadzer, but it's Dash! Dash!
Oh my goodness. It's the left side play. I mean, that has been the story of this tournament, right? Has been go left and you will be rewarded. And it continues to be true here. Infinite finding Bash first, now finding Dash, finding that easy Valley relic, and then what's the plan here? He's opening up the door. Is he going for the Forlorn approach?
Yeah, they're going for the last couple pickups, because we did see Infinite make the... Oh, they're going for Sense. I like this a lot, in all honesty. They have Clean Water, they have Glide, so, like... Ultra Defense and Triple Jump doesn't really matter. We did see extra Double Jump also peek out, right? So right now, Infinite is just looking for shards. That's all they want to do at this point. Just get the shards so that they can get access to the final 2 dungeons that they haven't gotten into. And so they are making the play for Sorrow. I was literally about to go on like a minute rant about like how I really hope somebody makes a play for Sorrow Pass at this point, because there's just so much pickup density. But there, Wespr in the bottom left is coming over to Valley. They're going to be watching the cutscene, and we do see a Water Vein shard in Sorrow Pass itself. So Wespr is going to be potentially tracking down that Bash pickup that Free Leaf Emoji has not had for the majority of this seed, but Team Infinite Turtles has indeed ended up having. So it's looking really good for both of our teams as they are looking for their next bit of progression out.
Yeah, and Jamal even making the play into Swamp, using that Charge Flame that he found on top of at the Forlorn Escape. We're getting new pickups in all sorts of different locations here. So far, we've only seen one more Water Vein shard from Infinite. So we are now up to having seen 2 of the Water Vein shards. And one of them is in Sorrow, where we were kind of expecting to see it. The other one, however, was at Grenadzer. So where are the rest of them?
Yeah, they could be pretty much anywhere at this point. Like, I'm also thinking about Oru Teleporter and like Sunstone shards. We still know that there are 3 Sunstone shards that we haven't found yet on the map, but honestly, Hal, we're running out of pickups at this point. Like, where could it be, right? It could be on the way down to the lower portions of Lower Blackroot, maybe with that Stomp find in Sorrow Pass potentially, right? It could be like in some other really incredibly mean locations. Meanwhile, though, Wespr on the left does find Bash. I really hope we get to interview them after the seed, and when they found that Bash, did they feel ahead or behind, like, finding that? Because that is one heck of a pathway, right? Like, Valley Long Swim in order to be able to use Valley Teleporter and Glide Wind Restore to get Bash. That is not a nice pathway.
Yeah, and there's Charge Jump. Jamal finds it in the Swamp Swim. Covert, what is this seed?
That's gated by Ginso Escape, I believe. I think. Because if you don't do Ginso Escape, you need Charge Jump to be able to get access to that pickup in Logic. So Charge Jump was not progression. So it was
the Valley Long Swim.
It was, yeah, in order to be able to get Charge Jump. Wow, this seed is terrible. I'm so glad I'm not racing this seed, Hal.
Me too. Now, J-Mal went for an Altar and a Teleport. I think he went to Hollow Grove, though, instead of to Sorrow. I would have loved to see him go straight for Sorrow with that Climb Charge Jump. But he might be following Wespr into Valley by way of Valley Long Swim at this point.
Yeah, so we're not quite commentating a lot on the significance of Charge Jump, but getting Grenade Jumps is actually really, really massive for the state of the race, right? So if, like, Infinite Turtles does not track down that Charge Jump pickup, right, that is time for Free Leaf Emoji to make up in the final escape. That's like over 30 seconds that they get to save over their opponents. So that could be really significant, especially if the shards end up being in really bad locations. So team #Free Leaf Emoji is definitely hoping that shards are in really bad locations at this point. But with Dash and Bash, this is looking so good for Infinite Turtles. And because Infinite is committing to Sorrow Pass so deeply, honestly, I still think that Infinite Turtles is in the lead here. But really, folks, this is Randomizer. Anything can happen in this latter portion of the seed itself.
Yeah, and Wespr is about to find that Dash pickup as well, which will bring, actually, #Free Leaf Emoji into a skill lead, as they will have all of the skills that have been found so far by our runners. But pretty large deficit in terms of relics and overall map knowledge. So will be very interesting to see how they play this.
Yeah, honestly, that one water vein shard that we found in Sorrow, that could be big, right? So if Wespr in the bottom left ends up just making a play for Sorrow itself immediately, that could be big. But oh, look at that on Charge Jump Tree. It's going to be a Sunstone shard. So Infinite, as well as their teammate, is going to have that knowledge and have access to Horu as a dungeon. And we do know that there is a relic in Horu. But you know what? 33 over 1/3 of seeds that have Horu with a relic. Yeah, that's right. You could require Stomp in order to be capable of finishing out the seed, right? So honestly, with that Forlorn escape, Hal, that Free Leaf Emoji did, but Infinite Turtles didn't do, this could be big, right? We see Infinite immediately alt-Ring to be able to go immediately for Horu. But they know, but Free Leaf Emoji knows that Stomp is in Sorrow. We know that most likely it's going to be around the Sunstone area for where Stomp could potentially be. So that could decide the race. This race isn't over, folks, even though it's like 20 minutes extra for Free Leaf Emoji to be able to track down Bash versus Infinite Turtles. But it's not over. There's a million different things that could happen, especially with that water vein find on Grenadier. How this race? What is this? This is the most dramatic race I think I've ever casted of doubles randomizer. This is intense.
Agreed. Like, this is it feels, looking at it, you feel like, okay, Team Infinite Turtles is way ahead. They've had Bash for so much longer. They've got a full Sunstone. They got to things faster. They've got all the relics that they can get at this point, with the exception of the Horror Relic, and Infinite is on his way to go try and track that down. But that, you can't underestimate that water vein find or knowing where Stomp is. If this Horror Relic winds up Stomp locked, Team Free Leaf Emoji already knows that Stomp is in Sorrow, and so they'll keep looking in Sorrow until they find it.
Yeah, also, how, right? If they do end up finding a water vein shard and use Ginso Teleporter to get access to Ginso to track down that relic, Team Infinite Turtles doesn't have Stomp. They don't have Charge Jump. How comfortable are they utilizing that double Bash sequence break to be able to get access to Bash Tree area, as well as a lot of density, right, in Ginso? I don't know. I know, like, Infinite probably can bust it out, but is Turtle comfortable with that? Do they have that double Bash set up in order to be able to utilize the easier bind in order to get that frame perfect trick off each time? And like, it's such a precise and really difficult sequence break, right? So like, where's the relic in Ginso? Where's the relic in Horu? Where's a water vein shard for Team Infinite Turtles? But then also, is like Free Leaf Emoji going to be able to utilize that advantage by having that Water Vein Shard from Grenadezer? There's just so many different things. So really, eyes peeled in the top right as well as the left side for when they make that play for Sorrow Pass. I just like there's so many different variables here that could decide the outcome of the race, and we don't have that much randomizer. But look at this, the play for Misty. Is this going to pay off for Team Free Leaf Emoji? I don't know, but we do see Wespr at Charge Jump Tree, so they are going to be able to find that Sunstone Shard. Oh my goodness, Hal, this is big.
It is. We can't underestimate this, and with Infinite in Horror already, J-Maul in Misty, if he finds, the Ginso teleporter, another Water Vein Shard, this could really turn things around for Team Free Leaf Emoji. Wespr has that Sunstone Shard, has a completed Sunstone. No, J-Maul was the one that found the Water Vein Shard in Grenadezer. So Wespr did find the Water Vein Shard in... Oh, those lovely grenade jumps. Did find the Water Vein Shard in Sorrow. So his teammate knows about it. So they have 2 Water Vein Shards to their opponent's 1.
Maybe it's looking like Wespr maybe missed that Sorrow Water Vein Shard, and if that is indeed the case, that could be massive for the state of the race for Team Infinite Turtles. As we see, TurtleRun is now going to be grabbing that Sunstone Shard as well as Infinite is going through. They find a Mapstone in R4. There's so few Mapstones that have shown up in the seed so far. It's just absolutely extreme. But they also track down Spirit Light Efficiency. Definitely a nice pickup to find early in a seed, but at this point, it's not going to be too big. But Infinite is going to be bashing the Tumbleweed, not opting to do the charge dashes through the laser. I don't blame them, honestly, because in this room, there's really particular setups. And without something like Stomp, right, if you charge dash, you could actually die to the laser on the right. It's really funny. So just opting instead to bash through the Tumbleweed for the first one. So I do like that decision from Infinite, and we are going to see what they find on these pickups as Wespr in the bottom left is going to be making that play over for that Horu play as well, because they do know that there is a relic in here. So honestly, interesting choice, Hal, that neither of our runners have found Stomp, but oh, look at this in the top left. J-Maul coming back to Sorrow, using that Sorrow teleporter with that charge jump. And I do think they are going to be finding Stomp pretty soon.
Yeah, they've only got 4 pickups left at the top here where this Sorrow teleporter puts them really close to. They've already found the tree, so they've got 3 left. The Sunstone, the plant up there, and this XP that J-Maul is going for now.
All right, folks, and we are getting a bit of lag here on the streams. Thank you so much for the patience. We are looking to potentially fix that maybe in the near future as our runners are going through. But wow, Horu Relic showing up very early, and it was not Stomp locked Hal, so that could also be really massive for the state of the race. But yeah, folks, we are just going to go really quick to an intermission screen. We are going to be resetting the stream really quick and seeing if we can get the runners all resynced back up so we can put on an excellent cast for you. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, but really interesting stuff, Hal, in all honesty. Like, I am really interested to see where our runners end up going from here, right? So do they continue to dig in Horu for something, right? We still need that water vein access to be able to get access to Ginso Tree itself. And so really, like, the state of the race, right? We found Forlorn Teleporter, we found Ginso Teleporter super early, we found the necessary Sunstone Shards to be able to get access to that dungeon itself. And with that, like, Ginso access, that could really end up like deciding the race overall, because there still is that relic in Ginso Tree that we have to track down. So which team is going to be able to get that access first? And maybe honestly, that's not it, right? There still are those 2 pickups at the very entrance of the dungeon itself to be able to get access. As we see J-Maul now in Ginso Tree.
Yeah, so J-Maul, during our intermission, looks like he has found Ginso Tree access, probably the teleporter based on where he is. Wespr down at the Bash Tree. They're making this Ginso play early, as soon as they can get it, which makes a lot of sense. It's the only relic they still need. So I love to see it. The question is, where is Infinite Turtles? Where are they looking for shards? Because Team Freeleaf Emoji has access to every single dungeon now.
My eyes are peeled in the bottom left right now, Hal. Wespr making these checks. They have 3 more pickups that they can check.
There it is.
That's relics. Is Free Leaf Emoji going to take this win, finding Bash 20 minutes later than the other team, but still being able to find Charge Jump, to be able to get that Water Vein, to be able to get that Ginso access, right? Is this it? Is this the race? This could be massive, right? If Infinite Turtles ends up taking the loss here, automatically qualifies for brackets who are going to be having a score of 2-1 and doing the rest of the races. I mean, yeah, we see Wespr making the play for the final escape, pal. What a race. Incredible.
Yeah, and Jamal showing great knowledge of the game, doing key dupe on the back side of this upper Ginso door so that he has enough keys to get to that relic. Just now leveling up Air Dash. The things we do in Rando. But beelining for that relic. He's got climb and charge jump. This is going to be real easy for him to get through, where it just isn't going to be for his opponents on Infinite Turtles who did not find that charge jump pickup.
Wow, Jamal immediately using those grenade jumps going through in the top left. They are going to be making a beeline for the relic. Yeah, not even Kid grabbing the tree. They know where the relic is. Their teammate has communicated as Wespr in the bottom left now is going to be charge jumping through that breakable floor, and they're going to be coming up. Are they going to grenade jump up? Heck yeah. Nice play from Wespr as they are going to be progressing through. Now next is going to be the elemental room. We are going to see how they progress through a bajillion health, a bajillion energy. Yeah, they are going to be climb charge jumping through that wall and going through. Now going through the firefall. They are very close to be finishing this final escape and being the first runner to be able to finish out the seed as they are bashing through the dirty water section, but they have clean water, so this seed is blessed. What a play now coming up through this final section. Wespr is so close to finishing out the seed as they are bashing up through the Sigma rocks. Are they going to be nailing that grenade jump, or are they just crossing the finish line? Because yeah, we are 48 minutes into the seed and we are going to see momentarily, potentially, where are they crossing the finish line? I'm on pins and needles, Hal. This is really exciting. And they're
Indeed.
through.
They're through. And so Wespr has, of course, told Jamal where all the relics are. Jamal knows where they are. He just has one left to get. He needs to go and get that horror relic. But of course, that is right next to the teleporter. So it is not going to cost him any time at all. This is huge for not just the race, but the tournament, right?
It is.
This is an upset in terms of like what you would expect from looking at the records of the racers. This is and Wespr throwing him some Naru hops. Oh my goodness! I really hope they pop in for an interview, because I do want to find out what was going through their minds when they found that bash pickup.
20 minutes, Hal. Right? 20 minutes without a power skill versus a team that did have the most powerful skill in the game. Right? Can you believe it? Free Leaf Emoji with a big clawback, like tracking down that additional water vein shard at Grenadier without bash, without a power skill, right? They got Grenadier without a power skill. What I like almost would never make that play, right? But they did, right? And it paid off, and they absolutely massive. As Jamal tracking down that last relic, and yeah, they're going for murder. I love this, right? So this is the setup that Jamal actually ended up discovering that revolutionized the mini boss kill. So honestly, I'm so glad we got to see Jamal bust that out, because that literally is probably one of the biggest sequences of movements that changed by play in recent years that somebody else found. So I love to see it. I love to see Jamal busting up that spread.
Yeah, and Jamal now starting that final escape. His teammate's already done. The timer's already stopped. So at this point, if Jamal just gets through clean, he and Team Free Leaf Emoji will have won this race. On our right side though, TurtleRun making that swim, going for those checks. We know there's nothing because our Jamal himself did check these earlier, unfortunately for TurtleRun. But on the left, Jamal grenade jumping up to the top of that lantern room. Charge flaming that wall. Is he going to do it? Yes. More grenade jumps. Giving us a little show here.
Yeah, so coming through the firefall section, they are one more screen away before they are going to be clinching the win for team #Free Leaf Emoji. I just want to hack the entire tournament to remove that one additional loss that they ended up having so that they could still do the 4-way race for brackets themselves. But there it is, the final grenade jump. Jamal is able to nail it first try, and they take the win. defeating Infinite Turtles and removing their hopes for being able to progress into the bracket stage itself. GG! That one water vein shard! Oh my goodness, Hal. Can you believe it? What a ridiculously incredible race.
If you had asked me a half hour ago what the big play of the game was, I would have said Valley Long Swim. The early Valley Long Swim to find that Valley pickup, that Valley teleporter that led to Bash. But missing that, Wespr and Jamal found the extra water vein shard that Turtle and Infinite just haven't found yet. And that was what turned it around.
You know, honestly, Bash being gated by Valley teleporter from Valley Long Swim with Glide when restored, that is one heck of a path. But heck, doing Grenades-er without a power skill. This seed just had so many incredible gems, and with a time this low, right? They almost got a sub 50. Like, they did have a power skill for 35 minutes, Hal, and they almost get a sub 50 average for this seed itself. Wow, what an incredible race. Oh my goodness. But that being said, we do actually end up having the winners joining us here for an interview. Jamal Wespr, GG, what was that seed?
That's a good question.
This seed, what are you talking about? This is exactly the type of seed I wanted to play this entire tournament.
Okay, I have to ask this first. So really quick question to either of you. Do you mind a spoiler as to what Infinite Turtles did?
Let's hear it, I'm fine.
All right, we've been having a couple of issues with some internet today. So before Muffin gives that spoiler, Wespr,
Yes.
you find Bash after that crazy sequence
what
of
a lovely
Valley Long Swim, Wind Restored Glide. Did you think at that point, this is crazy, I'm definitely ahead, or oh no, I must be so far behind?
Definitely did not think we were behind. The fact that we had thought about making the long swim play a couple of times, but just it felt inconvenient, and there were other technically more dense plays to make for cleanup. But it's still like not a pickup that anyone really prioritizes, and having Bash on Stompless Cell is like the last thing in Logic that you can do with that kit. And so it felt very niche. As soon as we got it, just was like, okay, we're in a good spot. And that just fell into literally everything else all at once. So kind of matched the gut feeling there.
Yeah, tell me more about that, like mid-game especially, right? That desperation play to just find anything, right? So at the point where like right side was like completely empty, you started to think about going for that Valley Long Swim for the Valley teleporter, but Grenades-er. Wait, I forget who made that play, but Grenades-er without power skill. Yeah. So talk me through that. Like, have you done that before? Have you done Grenades-er without a power skill?
I don't think I have hit before, but literally picking up extra double jump in Spirit Caverns on the way there, I said, I think this is enough distance, especially with Glide. And so it's like, worst case, it's 30 seconds down, but like if this is helpful, I don't want to have to come back to this again.
Yeah, and like really the big thing with the seed is like that mid game was gross, right? Like I'm pretty sure logically that Valley teleporter from Long Swim was the forced progression. And so we were just looking for stuff at that point. We're just like, let's go to places we have more than one pickup we had to skip and just see what we can get there. So that's how we ended up doing that. That's how we eventually ended up in Long Swim. And like, that's how I ended up finding charge jump so early, even though there's no way that was the intended path. It's just like, that was what we decided on. That's what we ended up doing. And that's what ended up working out really well. So like, regardless of whether or not it was strictly the best play, I feel like we styled on this seed and I regret nothing.
Yeah, so like a bit of logical information. If you find charge jump in Swamp proper, you have to go through Ginso Escape in order to have that
really
pickup come into
interesting. I was not aware of that.
Considering who knows where the water vein shards are.
Well, we do because we just got it posted. Do you want me to share that info?
Sure.
Okay, so Mapstone 7 had a water vein shard.
Oh, yes.
Classy,
yes.
classy.
And then the L4 cutscene, so you ended up having to track down Stomp and Sorrow in order to get that last water.
Incredible.
Oh my goodness. And then Bird Stomp Cell. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it was Stomp and Sorrow. So you needed like Stomp and Sorrow or to climb Charge Jump to be able to get it. Oh no.
And if both charge
Quick race
jump
update
and
here.
yeah.
Quick race update here. Infinite is working his way through the escape, coming through the S curve of the Firefall room, getting into the water, and then will be quickly working his way to the end of the game. No grenade jump for him. Gonna see some fish strats. His teammate TurtleRun starting the escape at the same time. Infinite's out. GG.
GG. Really impressive stuff. So Infinite Turtles taking a loss here, which is going to stop them from being capable of qualifying for brackets, but still very impressive stuff. And especially with this is the meanest seed that I've ever seen in a doubles tournament fashion, right? So Bash gating all of the other power skills and then as well as just really mean shard locations in general. So very impressive stuff from Infinite as they are holding right now, but TurtleRun in the bottom right now is coming through the elemental room and they are bashing up. Nicely done. And now they're coming through the Firefall section, very close to being able to finish out with a very respectable sub 1 hour time for their team on average. And now bashing up, they're not going to be opting for fish strats. Instead, they are going to be gliding up and nicely done, skipping that Kuro chase sequence itself by getting into a really precise spot, setting up for the grenade jump. Are they going to get it? Oh, they don't quite get the timing input. They do have the manual bind set up, and they get it second try. Nicely done from Turtle. Very impressive stuff. And their team is going to be finishing out with just about a high 58, if not a low 59 average for their team overall. Very commendable, very impressive stuff. GG Infinite Turtles.
All right, to rope this back to Jamal and Wespr. So, Muffin teased you guys with a spoiler that you said you would love to hear. You found Bash about 20 minutes after Infinite Turtles did.
Yep.
Really?
Interesting.
I'm curious to what happened afterwards then.
Do you want me to spoil that as well? I'm happy to.
I wouldn't mind. I'm gonna go back and watch this more or less immediately after this anyways, so I'll see eventually.
How about for you, Wespr? Do you mind if I spoil?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was the Grenadier play without a power skill.
My
that's what
god!
decided the race.
It 100% was. It was that water vein shard that you
And
found.
we just did it on a whim. Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta love Rando.
Yeah. So we are also joined here by Infinite and Turtle Guy themselves with the race, walking away with the loss here, but still an impressive stuff. GG Infinite Turtles. What was that seed?
Yeah, I don't know. All those watering shards just hit from us.
Yeah.
To be fair, the water vein shards hid from everyone. It was crazy. Do you want to know where the other water vein shards were?
I'm looking right now,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Mapstone 7, so very Mapstone starved seed, but it was on Map 7. We also had Valley Right Bird Stomp Cell, and then Horu L4 cutscene, right? So Stomp being in sorrow, because we saw Free Leaf Emoji end up doing that for me. Stomp's at like Sunstone.
I got Stomp. It is at Sunstone itself.
It is, okay, good.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like 200 XP on Mapstone 2 or something like that?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
I think it was on Mapstone
Yeah, it was a
1,
lot of
wasn't
XP for
it?
map 2.
Like, God.
All right, so let's ask a question for Infinite Turtle. So, Infinite, question to you specifically. So, really cool stuff. I really liked your play when you visited Valley Entry, right? So, like Turtle, I think was the first one to go through Valley Entry, but they didn't do the climb up to the experience with like just wall jump, which is extremely cursed, but in logic. So, can you talk me through the decision to do Valley Long Swim, and how did you sort of wait with being super low on resources? Making that play for Valley itself so early in the seed.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I really don't want to go through Spirosec. It's so boring and Turtle's going there anyway, so I might as well just check this random pickup and hope that it's something useful.
Yeah. And what a play that was. Do you mind if I spoil like how time differential for when you found Bash versus your opponents?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Turtle, how about for you? Do you mind a
Don't
spoiler?
tell me, please.
Okay, you ended up finding Bash like 20 minutes earlier than Infinite Turtles.
Oh,
J-Mal hit it from himself. No.
I really outdid myself this seed. Yep.
Ah!
I haven't been living up to my reputation so far this tournament, but I had to go out with a bang.
Oh, that was so good, man. Thank you.
yeah, we were laughing for like 5 minutes when I found Bash. I laughed so hard that I literally couldn't even feel my hands.
Yeah, we couldn't communicate. We just laughed. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I saw you pause for like 15 seconds, Infinite, after you got Bash. I was like, they're probably
Yeah, just
laughing
standing
so
there.
hard. Yeah,
Standing there next to the empty spot where the ability cell used to be, and of course we see Turtle Guy immediately bolting to go to Valley Long Swim. As you're just standing there like, what did I just find? What is this seed?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so why don't we talk a little bit more about sort of like routing, right? I know like the Bash find was incredibly dramatic, but like very interesting seed overall. So I'm going to ask this to all four of the runners, but we're going to start with Team Infinite Turtles here. So very right side heavy seed in terms of relics, right? No relic in Misty and Sorrow. So sort of in the late game, right? Being starved on water vein shards. What was sort of how you ended up strategizing and split up amongst your teammates to try and track down that water vein shard? Why don't we start with Infinite and Turtle?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just went for the pickup dense areas and hope that there's something. I saw that there's a water vein shard in Sorrow, so I thought that it can't be too early in logic, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot of, okay, we haven't done Misty yet. Someone should go Misty. Okay, we haven't done any of, Swamp proper yet. Someone do that. We haven't done Sorrow. Someone do that. And then at some point it was like, okay, have you gotten the singular Sunstone pickup?
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so how about for you, Free Leaf Emoji, right? Like, late game, I mean, you made the Grenadier play without a power skill to track down that water vein shard, but how did you sort of, like, work through the late game areas, and how did you prioritize various areas in order to track down that last water vein shard you needed?
So our general idea going into the last stretch was to kind of split the difference of Jamal's very much more familiar with sense than I am, so like ideally he follows high on purple tree, and then especially that I found dash first, I'll build more into blue just for like areas that have sparse pickups left for retracing steps, but just to like minimize time between each of those locations, and then the areas that are hard to get to but still have some density, some like extra leverage that sense will give you, is where Jamal's going to be going first between the two of us.
Yeah, and like even kind of making plays for like, I don't mind going into Misty even if there's no relic, though at the time when I went into Misty I forgot there was no relic in Misty, which is the reason I went as far as I did. But like it's fairly dense for the first half of stuff, and so if we just saying, yeah, we need to look for shards, let's see what we can find, like we will just make plays like that of let's just go to places with a lot of pickups and just kind of, not quite turn your brains off, but just kind of do your best race car impression and, get as much as you can.
Cool.
All right, I do have one last question for Team Freeleaf Emoji here. So early on, fairly early in the seed, you find the Sorrow teleporter, you find Climb, and you already have Glide and Wind Restored. Are you thinking at that point, where is Charge Jump? Is that kind of the thinking of where's Charge Jump? And then when you found it in the Swamp Swim, what were your thoughts?
Oh, so I knew it was way out of logic when I found it in Swamp that early. I was curious, obviously having Grenade and Climb at that point, you're wondering where Charge Jump is regardless. I think Sorrow was not like super top of my mind at that point. It was, I don't tend to think in terms of like, what is the skill that I am looking for next and what is that going to give me? It tends to be a bit more reactionary. And so once I find that Charge Jump, it's like, oh, I understand what's going on now and I could make that play. But I also feel like we had Valley Teleporter into Bash at that point. We knew what we were doing. We knew where the other skills were because we found all of the power skills like probably within 2 minutes of each other. It was kind of ridiculous. And so like at that point, the thought of going to Sorrow didn't really seem so appealing.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But that being said, as we come to the close of this match, this is going to be the final run for both Freeleaf Emoji as well as Infinite Turtles. And just kind of a closing question for each of the teams, right? This has been a really fun 4-round Swiss tournament for you folks, and it's been really excellent and really fun watching your matches. So I guess just like kind of closing out, do you have any closing thoughts as you come to the end of your tournament journey, starting with Freeleaf Emoji? Why don't we start with Wespr?
I think the one thing I take out of this is just it's a really fun format and changes a lot as opposed to doing a single player route. Doubles is a format that we do even just recreationally, of just like let's play the same seed and be a bit more cooperative. So being able to take a format that we like in a more competitive sense was really entertaining and a fun way to like get back into Ori more than was previously like in the past months. So definitely happy that the event went on. Thanks to everyone that contributed to putting it on, and good luck to those moving forward.
How about for you, J-Mal?
Yeah, I think I'll echo a lot of what he just said. Of course, thanks to everyone who's been putting this on. I've had a great time with the tournament. I think coming into it, the two of us didn't really expect to, make a long bracket run or anything like that. We've always just kind of been in it for the fun, and we definitely accomplished that goal. This is a fun format. I really like the communication in this, and I just really like playing the game with the group. So, yeah, I've had a very good time. I think it's a very good event, and yeah, I don't really have much else to add.
All right, and then over to Infinite Turtles.
Your thoughts about like the tournament overall. So why don't we start with Turtle Guy? How are you feeling?
Honestly, everything that happened in this tournament was all worth it just for that Bash fight and how hard we laughed. I will never forget that. That was so good. So yeah, just had a lot of fun overall. And while not having that 4-way match is a little disappointing, hey, we tried our best and it was totally worth it to play this gem of a seed.
Honestly, if like even out of the tournament, if we want to do a 4-way race, I'll cast that. I'll do it. I'm more than happy to. But how about for you, Infinite? Any sort of closing thoughts on your tournament journey?
Yeah, the tournament was amazing. I loved playing in it, and I was really hoping for that 4-way race, but oh well. And Turtle,
Yeah.
I really liked playing with you. It was amazing. I'm super impressed by you.
And your plays and your game sense are incredible. For anyone who doesn't know, we kind of matched up towards the very end just to help fill out the roster, and it worked really well. So, shout outs to Infinite for helping me along.
Oh, you folks are bringing like a tear to my eye. I love you folks so much. Wow, really
we
awesome.
love you too, Muffin.
This was a super fun match. Congratulations to both Freeleaf Emoji and Infinite Turtles for putting on an amazing show. Just very impressive stuff. But folks, we still have a weekend that is going to be packed with Ori randomizer matches, especially for deciding how the brackets are going to unfold. So I don't remember if there's a match here today, but there's definitely going to be a couple matches tomorrow. But that being said, I am Covert Muffin. Major thanks to J-Hal for joining me on the mic for the commentary for this one, but also major shout-outs for the people behind the scenes. Lion Almanar, thank you so much for restreaming and for working with those tech difficulties during the match. That was very impressive to me. But also major thanks to Didu as well as Fupio for helping us with stats and trucking information as the match went on. With that being said, folks, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon for some more Ori randomizer action. Take care and have fun.